given any right angle triangle with three sides, side A, side B, and side C. The side directly opposite the right angle is always the longest side. In this case, that's going to be side C. Now, this side C, the longest side, is called the hypotenuse. And there is a theorem connecting all three sides, and this is called the Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem states that the square of the longest side, in this case is c squared, is going to be the same as the sum of the square of the other two sides. The square of A add the square of B. I want you to make note of this theorem because it's going to be very, very useful in our following examples. So let's try some example applying this theorem. Now, in this question, we have a right angle triangle and we need to find the side x. Now, if you look at the question very carefully, you'll find side x is the side facing the right angle here, the square side here. That means this side x is going to be the hypotenuse, that is the longest side. Now we know from Pythagoras theorem that the square of the longest side, in this case is going to be x squared, is going to be the sum of the square of the other two sides. That's 5 squared add 12 squared. Now let's see how we can simplify this further. S squared is going to still be 5 squared, that's 25. 12 squared, that's going to be 144. This is going to be s squared is going to be equals to the sum of these two numbers. That's going to give you 169. And to find the value for x, you find the square root of 169. Now remember, when you find the square root of this number, this squared here kind of vanishes. So you have leaving x here is going to be equals to the square root of 169 is 13 centimeters. So the hypotenuse, that is the longest side x, is going to be 13 centimeters. In the second question, we have a right angle triangle kind of flipped to the left side. And we got to find the side x, which is correct to 2 decimal places. Now, looking at the question very carefully, you find that this side x is actually opposite the squared right angle here. That means this side x is going to be the longest side, and that's going to be the hypotenuse also. So we begin using the Pythagoras theorem, the square of the longest side, which is x here. So you have x squared here is going to be equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. So we got 7 squared here, add 2 squared. So let's simplify this further. So we have s squared is going to be equal to 7 squared, going to be 49, add 2 squared, that's going to be 4. So we simplify further. So we have s squared here is going to be the sum of these two numbers, 49 and 4. That's going to give us 53. And now to find the answer for x, that is the length of side x, we'll do the square root of 53. And the square root of 53 correct to 2 decimal places, that's going to be 7.28 centimeter. So the side here is 7.28 centimeter. And now we come to the third and the last question. Here we got to find the side x and also find the area of this right angle triangle. You already know that the Pythagoras theorem states that the longest side is going to be the square of the longest side, going to be the sum of the square of the other two sides. Now if you look at this carefully, you find that this side here, 25, is actually the hypotenuse. How do I know? Because that side directly opposite the square right angle here. So you have the clue now. So we're going to use that to find side x. So we begin with the hypotenuse square, which is the square of it. That's going to be 25 squared. Will be the sum of the square of the other two sides. That's x squared. Add on the square of the side. That's 7 squared. So let's simplify this further. 25 squared is 25 and 25. That's going to give us 625. and that's going to be equal to the square of x. Add square of 7, that's 7 times 7, and that's going to be 49. And then you subtract 49 on both sides. You have 625 minus 49, that's going to be s squared. Now if you subtract this number 49 from 625, you're going to have 576, and that's going to be equals to s squared. To find x, you find the square root of this, so x is going to be the square root of 576. In this case, that's going to be 24. So x is going to be 24 centimeters. So this side here is 24. Of course, it's going to be in centimeters anyway. So now we need to calculate the area. The area. Now the area simply means the amount of space, okay, inside this triangle. The amount of space. And to do that, you will need the formula for the area of a triangle. In this case, the area of a triangle can be calculated as the base times the height divided by 2. Now in this case, the base here is 7 centimeters multiplied by the height. Now the height is what we calculated earlier, that was 24 centimeters, and then you divide this by 2. So one way you could do this is to multiply these two numbers, and then the answer you get, you divide by 2. Or you might go 2 into 12, that's going to be 12. And 12 times 7, either way, you get answer as 84. So the area of this triangle is going to be 84 centimeters square.